Look in my eyes for my mind state. I'm on the grind 25 days. Money on my mind, that's how I play. If you got it now, this what I say. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait. Hold up, hold up, hold up, wait.
Welcome to episode 3 of the Swerve City Podcast. We said we was going to do this thing big this year, 2019, with season 2. And look what we got. We got the banner up. We got all the posters on people that are signed, unsigned, talents in the wrestling world today. All my friends and people on there. Yeah. Oh, Josiah, you don't know. I'm about to get wild. Not too wild.
Not too wild. Okay.
It's
all
not
right.
explicit, but.
Not too wild.
I trust you.
Yo, yeah. Wrong mistake. But anyway, moving on. Shout out to what's his name?
This is the host.
What? Shout out
What's his name?
what's his
Shout
name?
out to Around Seattle sponsorship, #1 sponsors for the Swerve City Podcast. He got us the new banner. He didn't get us the table, but he got us the mics on the table and the mic clamps, all the equipment, the wires, and he just got us the new curtain rods for the studio effect feel. Run this right out of my apartment here in Orlando, Florida, live in the place to be. We got the co-host, Mr. Teasy Scott now.
Teasy Scott, how you guys doing? You know, Teasy Scott on all Instagram, social media, things of that nature. Glad to be back for episode 3.
Big Swole here.
Can we segue a little better than this? This Big Swole over here. Take it away.
Right. Big Swole. Just fresh off of going to North Carolina. Had a show out there for PWX.
PWX, shout out Brian Kanabrowski. What
Yeah,
up?
shout out to Brian Kanabrowski, Patrick Price, all them. Home promotion, One Love, all that good stuff. Yeah, it's just
What you do out there that weekend?
I wrestled Savannah Evans. It was actually a show where the Syndicate put it together. So it really is just pretty much the black crew was wrestling everybody that they wanted to wrestle, and they ended up turning on the leader and stuff. So it was actually really
Black folks turn on people. Where have I heard this story before?
all over, all over. History repeats itself, as King Solomon once said. You know what I mean? Yeah.
So, without further ado, I gotta give the floor to the man, the guest of episode 3. Last week we had Street Profits on, the NXT Tag Champions. This week we have another new addition to the WWE Performance Center. You just saw this man rap out Adam Cole to the ring at NXT TakeOver 25 in Bridgeport, Connecticut. You have Wrestle and Flow, none other than Josiah Williams.
What's going on?
That's the best intro I've ever got.
I think that was like fantastic.
Yes.
Like I'm proud of that.
Thank you.
To the point where I don't have anything to say because he said it all. That was perfect.
Bro, I'm getting good at this. Gonna give me a job one day.
Shout out to Around Seattle, our sponsor.
Wait, what's his name? What's his name?
No, Dad. I was about to say. What? Shout out to Almost Seattle. What?
Almost.
Love you, man. Appreciate you. Thank you for everything you do and providing for this podcast, helping us grow, helping us put this platform in the world. And now we're getting freaking provided by WWE personnel. We're getting support. We're getting retweets from WWE NXT. We got Sai getting up from the camera, about to do something. Or what we got? Okay, my bad.
Do you, baby. Do you, baby.
I'm making do what it do, baby.
I know, make it do what it do,
I'm making do
baby.
what it do, baby.
Yep, there you go.
While we doing that, I mean, I might as well just say thank y'all ahead of time for allowing me to even be here. That actually helped me out because now people can actually see my face on my live as well.
There we go.
Yeah, I appreciate this, man. Before anything even gets said, much love.
Our pleasure is all mine, man. We gotta support each other, man. Like, shoot, what, a month in?
Yeah.
A whole month in the WWE Performance Center?
This is, I started on May 6th, so almost 7-8 weeks or so. It's crazy.
Talk about that whole transition and moving down here to Orlando, man.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I lived in Peoria, Illinois for about 9 years. After I graduated high school, I went there for college, and I stuck around for about 5 more years working a fun job. It was for the city government, actually.
For the city.
Most people would not expect. So I was the neighborhood enhancement coordinator. So for like the entire city, I would like
elaborate.
Yeah. For the entire city, I created like fun projects, and I ran an Instagram account just kind of showcasing like what's going on in the city, just fun stuff like that.
Oh, so you coordinated all the cookouts?
I coordinated a cookout.
Oh, okay. The cookout.
Right. I coordinated the cookout.
And guess what was played at that cookout, I bet? Funk is on a roll. Funk is on a roll.
Say what?
Got the family function. So you've been down with this whole Instagram content thing for a while now. Tell me how like that grew into Wrestle and Flow.
Yeah, so I started making my own music in 2010.
And you edit too.
I
like
do
videos.
Yeah. So that's kind of actually at the exact same time. So I went to college and I had a laptop for the first time. So I'm like, playing around with stuff. It was like GarageBand. I had iMovie at the time, and then I learned how to use Final Cut Pro. I just started doing stuff. In the beginning,
do you know anything about these equipment softwares?
Trust me, I know it all. Yeah.
Yep. That's the man. He knows it all.
Yeah.
No,
Mike Simmons. No, he does. But continue.
In the beginning, it was pretty rough. It was not my proudest work. I will say that. But I just wanted to get stuff out there. Like, I had all these ideas. In high school, I did a lot of poetry, spoken word. So like transitioning into lyrics was something that I really wanted to do. And so I had that background. So I had to promote myself and I didn't. When you're an independent musician, you ain't got nobody. Like, you got your friends at school.
Talk about it.
You got the people that find you on Instagram.
Finish your story, bro. I'll say that for another episode, bro.
It's a whole podcast,
Speak your spiel, bro. Go ahead and get it off, brother.
No, I want to hear comparisons later, but
yeah. That's really what it is. So just kind of learning how to use social media to promote your own stuff. So I did that for a while. Got some cool opportunities. Like being able to open up for people on shows. It led me to opening up for Chance the Rapper in Chicago or in Peoria, which was real cool.
Is that your favorite person you've ever opened up for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
At least
biggest
up to that
probably.
Point. Yeah, it was cool. And that was the fun fact about that day. It was special, of course, but it was also the day that Lil Wayne dropped. I forgot what mixtape it was, but it had a Chance feature on it. So he was already like, yeah. This is not. It was the You song. So it was a dope day. But yeah, transitioning all the way through, graduating college, kind of doing my own thing, and then Wrestle and Flow started last year. So Wrestle and Flow began August 2018.
That's a very quick rise of how viral that went too.
Yeah.
For 1 year,
it took off out of nowhere, real fast.
Like, what was that first break that first big break where it just broke through and it really became viral?
It was the day that it started, actually. So
what? Day one?
Lord, jeez, I wish I had that kind of
day one. So I had the idea, because a big part of wrestling is the music, right? So which
a lot of people don't take a lot of that for granted. I would say
so.
Yeah, if your music's trash,
there's only so much you can go.
Yeah, you gotta have that because that's a part of who you are. That's a part of your character, your persona. So if your music don't hit after the first second, people are gonna be like, all right, I guess.
Right, or if it takes 20 years to build, hey, my
yeah,
is running low.
It's taking a minute.
We already at 29 seconds. Okay.
Right.
Still ain't coming
and
out.
the attention span's gone too.
Right.
And that don't seem like it's a lot of time, but in the world, man, that can be a lot.
Eternity.
No, the music hit. You be like, the music hit. The fans be like, hey man, so what are we doing after the show?
Right.
And a lot of fans miss that. Like they don't think about it because they're in the moment being fans and watching the show and stuff. Like there's a lot of times maybe 10 seconds of something can take you out of the entire moment of what it is, and you just think about something else. And anytime you give that much space of a fan to think about something else and not what's going on right in front of you, which they paid hard money for, and all that, there's a disconnect. And that's the hardest. I think music is probably one of the most important things. There's the wrestler, there's the superstar, there's the lights, the glitz, the glamour, but I think the music is internal, and you can music is what's going to get the people 3 days later, and it's just I think that lingers a lot longer.
and that was a big part of it too. Of like, okay, if I'm trying to find my way into this industry, clearly I'm not getting in the ring, so I got to find some other way to really get into this. And for me, it was the music. So just like, you know, I started out with, I think I remixed 7 songs at once, and then just held on to it. And I'm like, okay, let me find the right one to release first. So it was the Undisputed Era, and I posted it at 11 Central. By 11:13, Roddy Strong had seen it. By 11:18 or something, Cole saw it, and then he posted it. And that's what kind of led it to take off. And then, you know, Bobby Fish posted it, Kyle O'Reilly posted it. So it was like all 4 of them supporting it is really what launched this entire movement. And at that time, like, I'm just some dude on the internet. They have no idea who I am. Right. But the fact that they were willing to even give it a chance and listen to it set the tone of like, okay, if these 4 dudes think that this random black dude in Peoria is dope, then we should give him a chance.
I need that man from Peoria.
Right.
So how long did it take, like, with your videos, you put them out in chapters, how long did it take for you to edit each video? Like, it took some time? Man, you put them out weekly after a while, right?
Right.
So it took some time.
That was at least, so the full process is, you know, you got to write the song, you record it, you get it mixed and mastered. I got to film it. I got to edit it. I got to post it. But that editing part is like at least 7 to 11 hours. Like,
yeah, that's a full day.
Yeah. And that was, man.
How many classes were you skipping doing this? That's why I want to know. How many late days did you take?
No, see, for me, it was work. So, like, I go to work during the day, which was 8 to 5 every day. And then coming home 5 to 11, working on this somehow. So I'm either writing something, recording it, sending it out, or just editing. And
it takes that discipline to get what you want, to make your dreams happen. You gotta be disciplined. So.
Yeah, if you're passionate about something, it never feels like work. Work feels like work.
Right.
But afterwards, you're just feeling like, man, this is just your fuel. That's what gets you. This right here is what gets you to get up the next day to go to work to support this. And it's that revolving thing. It's recycling.
Yeah.
That's what happened for me, at least for wrestling. Like everything outside of it was to work to support this. You know, like, you don't want to be doing like what you were doing for work as your life.
Right.
You know, you were passionate about this, so everything else outside of that supports that. But yeah, Ariel, you just had something to ask about the man's family and all that, because I need to bring it over to Sister Soldier Mother, wife Teresa over here.
What's
Sister Soldier?
Wife?
Big swole.
Mother, wife Teresa. Something like that. So, how's your wife adjusting to this new, I guess, found celebrity? Like you're like, you know,
it's a lot. So, you know, she's still at home right now. She doesn't move down until this Saturday. So when I got here in April, the last week of April, she came to visit because that was our wedding anniversary weekend. But she's been back in Peoria since, you know, day one, since I started here. So I saw her for the first time last week, and that was, you know, we had a month or 6 weeks or so in between. Was that a sneeze? Bless you.
Yeah. It was a quiet little sneeze. I was like,
is it?
Pardon me, was that a
sneeze? I'm like, man, either that or y'all got mice, and I know it ain't mice in here.
I wish that voodoo on me. This place is refurbished.
No, not
What's
at
the
all.
word? I'm not having words today.
What? Refurbished?
Yeah. Like...
Refurbished meaning it was broke.
Yeah,
hey, lyricist over here, help me out. Come on, bro.
What exactly are you trying to say? What exactly are you trying to say? It's been repainted? It's been refreshed? It's been reset?
Hey, I'm going to say it looks good.
Oh, thank you.
I want to put that on camera. We are in a quality environment here.
Yeah, thank you. It's not much, but I make it mine. And look, you get curtains. Y'all got curtains. What podcast you been to that gives you curtains?
Right.
Yeah, this is
radio station
with rails.
I put them things up.
And it's sponsored by who?
Around Seattle.
Almost.
My man, I appreciate it.
Yeah. So we trying to get that money in here.
Sponsored by Alrighty Seattle. There we go. Moving on.
I'm sorry, that's my fault that we didn't got derailed.
Man, Swerve. You got
Right.
Swerve.
Right, we got
in the
Swerve.
conversation. That's what this is about.
So what does she do?
She's an in-home therapist for
I
family.
need her when she gets here.
Yeah, so that's gonna be an easy
Just gonna bring her to
transfer
the
for her
podcast.
coming down here.
Yeah, I'm gonna need her because I just went through some personal things in my life, bro.
Oh man, yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
yes.
and she's a people person. Like she's.
Oh, yeah.
She's incredibly patient. She loves everybody. She can have you talking about things that. Did I just reveal that out loud to people? Like she's real good with that.
Well, she was at Wale Mania as well.
She
As well.
was.
Yeah.
I missed you
Yeah.
guys. I came in a little bit after.
So
Yeah,
I
remember
That's
meeting her.
Hollywood.
I remember
Hollywood
that.
coming in.
Yeah.
Bro, I had to wrestle.
Because you just came out of a match,
I
right?
had to wrestle Zack Sabre Jr. That was my 4th match that day.
Mm-hmm.
And
Man, that's crazy.
I was getting beat up from that man.
Man, I
And-
see why you came in late.
Yeah, I'm like, I dragged him. I'm like, ready to party.
So believe it or not, I actually did. I walked up and I'm like, "Hey man, hey, nice to meet you." But I could tell you were like, "I'm not even awake right now."
Right.
So I'm like, we'll meet. I'll see you in a couple months."
Yeah.
I'll see
Yeah,
you.
man, that was a rough day. But man, like that's like also one of the things like we're watching music and wrestling come together. You had a question about that. We were talking about that earlier, actually.
About music and wrestling.
Yeah, actually, no, it wasn't you. It was my cousin. We're gonna get into that in a little second. We all look alike. I'm the worst host ever.
I just want to point out, I love black people so much.
I love my people.
I love my people
culture.
so much.
Remember that time I slapped you in the back
That
of
was
the
my
head?
cousin.
Oh no, that was crazy.
Like, oh man, that wasn't you. That was somebody that looked like you.
But anyway, yeah, there was like, so I was talking about my cousin Will. You know, shout out to Will Washington,
Shout out
Rocket
to Will.
Buster Radio.
Shout out to Will, man.
Yeah, big cousin, big supporter, helped out a lot with this podcast, man. So he talks about he felt like for all the years that music has always been like involved in giving to wrestling in some sense. You know, there's always been like rappers coming into or wrestlers going into rap videos and yada yada. But there's never been like a real resurgence of wrestling giving back to music in a sense. You maybe get like a Ric Flair drip. And that's like once in a 10 years type thing.
Brother.
It's not very
Right,
much.
right.
You know, they kind of like as far as wrestling. Remember we were in WWE. There was the
It doesn't matter.
well, no, it was the guest. It was the guest GMs. It was the special guest GMs every week and stuff. So sometimes you got like a Snoop Dogg or whatever.
Damn.
But there was like any music. You were just using the Snoop Dogg entity for the show and all that.
Which is separate.
Yeah. I feel like now we're finally starting to click with getting the music and the wrestling gelling together to work together, like the Wale Manias.
Yeah.
With you coming out with Adam Cole, you know, like there's. Well, we have NBA artists starting to rap now, so there's that bridge together. But I want to see that wrestling.
Side note, I used to have an Allen Iverson CD, and when he put that out, I was just saying.
An Allen Iverson CD.
CD, yeah.
Compact
man.
disc for those.
Right.
It grew up in the 90s.
Compact
Thank you very
disc.
much.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I feel like this man and this man are probably one of the biggest guys doing it right now that's bridging that gap with wrestling and music. Because you know, look, a lot of times you see wrestlers put out music, you're kind of like, ooh.
Whoa!
Like, whoa.
Like that.
Like, ooh.
What homeboy said? Hated it.
Yeah, basketball player play. I'm like, oh, here goes something about a crossover.
Yeah.
Crossover affected with the left.
Well,
Get it
Reebok
behind
socks.
thing.
No,
We crossed
yeah.
over Steph Curry last night.
Yeah. So like you got to get that. But now I feel like we're
Check
starting
left,
to get
check
like a
right.
nice little gel. Like Leo Rush rapped this thing and it was killed and it was fire.
Yeah.
For
I got like the rappers that are giving love to wrestling. You have the wrestlers who are rapping their themes. You got the people who are kind of coming in. Like I feel like there's a bunch of different layers to it as
Right.
well.
You got the Keith
Like,
Lee doing his own music and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. There's a lot of that too. Like, man, people are kind of integrating both, like you said, and it's working. It's working really well too.
It's
yeah.
very much way more accepted. Because like there was like a long time it was very like stigma. It was like it's not going to be good. It's going to be talking about this and this. Like now you're starting to hear like dudes actually have something to talk about.
Right.
They got some flow.
Right.
There's talent there. And now like you guys are starting to bridge. Like I remember you did another project for like Mrs. Ali in the PC. It's like you'll when that makes
Coming
sense.
soon.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm like some preview. I ain't gonna go too far into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's not a hip. And here's another thing that really grinds my gears about that kind of thing. Really gets on my nerves.
Speak your mind, play. Get off your chest, brother.
Oh my God.
He get it off the chest aside. He get it off the chest.
Set your soul free. Set your soul free.
It's usually you always put the hip hop music to the hip hop gimmick, and it has to be the hip hop this and the hip hop that.
Okay.
This is mixing hip hop with something like that's like a female Chinese martial artist, and it gels so well, and people aren't like thinking like, oh man, we're not getting that same stereotype. We're getting something different. That's what I'm talking about as part of the bridge. We're bridging it.
Well, think about it. I mean, like professional wrestling, wherever you are, it's telling a story, and that's exactly what I personally feel music is. Like, you're telling a story, but it's through a creative lens. So with that, it's like, okay, obviously I can be the hip hop artist who is making, an entrance song for the stereotypical hip hop character, right? But, Zia Lee, who I did something for, who, is building up English and who speaks through like martial arts and through different things like that. It's like, I can convey your message through lyrics. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, theater.
Yeah.
It's all theater. It's all entertainment, man.
So what is your creative process? So usually do you take a wrestler that you find interested and kind of just do research, or do you just kind of wing it? How does that work with you with your writing process?
I think it depends. Like, for example, if it's somebody like, for me, when I did the Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era theme, like, I didn't really need to research that much because Adam Cole's one of my favorite people. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Velveteen. But
Adam Cole was the one that got me into CZW and then took my career off from there.
Oh, dope.
Adam Cole, we go way back.
Shout out.
Same with Velveteen. So you might see.
Yeah, big shout out to Adam Cole. He does a lot. He does a lot. Yeah,
That man's schedule, the last tapings was insane. He had to do the tapings and fly over to the UK, do download, then come back and do the Texas loops.
Wow. He did like this one in-house therapy session for Cedric and I. He was just like, you guys need to never break up. You guys belong together.
Like, break up again, I'll super kick
Right,
you.
yeah, he was like so adamant about it. He was like, don't say this to a lot of people, but you guys need to stay together. He's like, I don't want to ever see you break up, ever. And I was like, okay. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And that
yes,
motivated Cedric to win the 24/7 championship.
Bam! You go, babe.
Hey, he held
For
that.
2 minutes.
He held that.
I love you, Cedric.
Yeah, but there are some people that, when I remix their song or, telling their story that I did need to research a little bit. Like, I'm very familiar with DX, but I wanted to tell not the post, 2003 when I started watching and all that, but like, they were around. They started,
sticks.
Right. They were in 97 when I was a child, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to kind of get a little bit of that in there too. So it just kind of depends on who it is and what the situation is. But most times it's just, that beat is fire. So I'm about to just go ahead and destroy that real quick. Like, I just want to have some fun with it.
Bring that over here.
Right.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. You got some.
Who would you say your inspirations are?
In music or in wrestling?
Actually, let's go. I know music's your thing, so let's go to wrestling.
Get it, Queen. Get it.
Huh. Okay.
We are getting the cut time. We are going off IG Live. You want to watch the rest? Check it out.
Hey, it's about to get BET uncut in here.
Right.
Oh!
Yeah, you want to watch the rest?
Swerve City Podcast.
On YouTube.
Subscribe,
Check it out, man.
subscribe.
Josiah Williams in the studio. This is what we do, man. Let's go ahead.
Let's
check
go.
the rest of that on YouTube. You get it popping. Let's go. Swerve City.
Let me move this out the way, so just in case it's in the way of the camera.
Oh no, you're fine.
Influences in pro wrestling, man. I grew up not watching. First of all, I gotta throw this out as a disclaimer.
Right, you like post 2003.
Yeah,
right.
So I didn't watch the Attitude Era. My mom was like, "Nah, son, you're not."
There's a lot of kids that weren't allowed to watch that.
Yeah,
it's a lot of
fans be like,
right, exactly,
You're
exactly.
not a fan.
And that's why I tell it, because people just assume, and I'm like, I don't even want you to get that thought that I was, hearing the glass break live. Like, I didn't hear.
Ain't
I didn't
nothing
watch
better than that, dude.
Hey.
Boy, listen.
I got in around like the WrestleMania 18 era.
Okay.
Like, so that's like 2002 Ruthless Aggression. Start getting into that. So that's what we're going to do.
So mine were like Eddie Guerrero, Batista, Shawn Michaels, and then later on Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre.
Right.
Those, yeah.
Okay, so good solid, still solid.
Yeah.
Now, music-wise.
Good time.
Because I know y'all need to get into something right here.
Music, man, there's a lot. I think for me, based off of music and artistry as a whole, so like, you know, outside of the industry, like Andre 3000 was someone.
Not enough people say his name.
Yeah.
I need more.
I love you, 3000.
Like
3 stacks.
The talent is on a very different level. I don't know. I always appreciated him and his work. I like listening to a little bit of everybody, so I can go from Black Thought to NSYNC to Joyner Lucas to Chris Brown to I don't even know who else to put out there. I love Royce the 5'9".
We were listening to that man today. Yep, brother. It's like y'all.
Yes.
See, that's the 2 superpowers that just dropped.
Right, that's exactly what it is.
Yes.
Yo, hey, Mike, put that in the video.
Hey, get that sound in
Bruh,
there.
I swear, look, the Lord's up there like, yeah, I see it. Okay, now hit the thunder now, hit it now. Look at it.
That's a sign we doing God's work.
Man,
right.
I listen to a lot of music, man, a whole lot, and I don't know. That's one thing that I'm just completely unashamed about. Like, I really love most music.
Yes.
Not really country bluegrass and none of that type of stuff, but like
Hey, listen. Listen.
Hey, hold on now.
Is that considered country to you?
Listen.
It is.
It's considered country.
I need that man to get his credit.
Understand something. Look.
You got little kids.
Get some Brad Paisley and some Garth Brooks in your life. They got some good songs.
I will give
that alcohol. That's number 1 right there.
Only Garth Brooks song I know is that Dr. Pepper commercial that came out in like 2000.
Dr. Pepper commercial.
Do you what Dr. Pepper? That's all I know, bro. I don't know.
Only thing about Dr. Pepper I know is that sweet.
It's the sweet one.
Yeah. Hey, you sound just like it. Just like it.
Yo, that's all that about Dr. Pepper I know right about commercial wise. But so I want to break it off to this segment. It's called Tragedy and Triumph.
Okay.
I want to talk about, probably, if you are comfortable, if able to talk about it, your biggest tragedies that's going on your journey to get to this point in your career, and I want to talk about how you triumphed from it. What was the turning point when you got out of it,
man,
and pushed forward? Because there's a lot of people listening to this that could really use that type of advice because they're going through something right now.
I don't know if my thing is necessarily a tragedy, but it was kind of just a moment that I needed to be like, a couple of moments where I needed to just be real honest with myself and what I wanted to do. So, you know, I started out 2010 making hip hop music and getting a little bit of like traction and kind of building myself up. And then I had this like point in college where I wouldn't say necessarily doing like terrible things, but like got into drinking a little bit too much and got into partying a little bit too much. Like, I just felt like I was becoming somebody that I didn't really want to be. And at the same time, I'm still this dude who's trying to reflect this like positive image and this positive lifestyle and like clearly conflicting.
There's a disconnect.
Right.
Yeah.
People seeing me, on one day walking down the street with my girlfriend, and then they see me walking down the street with somebody else at night, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, I'm kind of
that
reflecting.
Yeah.
And I just felt real convicted. And throughout my whole life, like, I grew up in church. So I feel like my connection with God is, I like to be honest about that. And for a while, I'm like trying to play it off or like, trying to blend in and be cool and stuff. And I realized, like, man, first of all, this is not who I want to be. Secondly, I think I have a bigger calling in reflecting this image that I really want to and showcasing something that's different that you don't really see every day. So I switched over from hip hop to Christian hip hop, and that really rubbed people the wrong way of like, oh, so now you talking about like Jesus and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And I had a lot going. Like, you go from, like I said, opening up for Chance and Vic Mensa and all these people to like having to completely restart and losing 75% of your following because either they don't believe it or they just don't want to hear that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's not that's not the first thing you want to hear when you turn on the radio.
That's also a very risky move in a career as well.
Yeah.
So you bet on yourself as far as like your morals, and you put that first over like following the paycheck, following the easy.
Yeah,
Because you got to stay true to you. And that's the only way you're really going to get blessed is if you stay true and on the path you need to be on.
Like, how many times did you ever have to struggle with that? Like, as far as content and music? Because you don't curse in your music either.
No. It's a process, and I totally understand what Josiah's saying.
Yeah.
It's just as a writer, you really want to stay true to who you are and what you feel is right for yourself. And sometimes it takes you have no pun, but it really is a come to Jesus moment with yourself when it's like, okay, if this is what I'm going to do, I have to stick by that.
Right.
And I have to stick by my moral code and who I am because I'm a big person on morals. I can tell just by talking to him he is as well.
Yep.
So it's sometimes some people don't have that. The entertainment industry isn't really built on morals. So you have to come in with that understanding. So I totally relate to him and what he's saying.
Right.
Totally do.
Because you could be really easy to just rap about pills and being drunk and doing all that. Like majority of hip hop that's frowned upon from everybody who doesn't listen to hip hop that's scared of it is like we have these 3 freaking things we talk about, like drugs, woman, and money. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So it's really hard to like when that's the number one seller, it's really hard to go outside of that box and create another realm for yourself.
Yeah, because that currently defines what success is right now.
Right.
But the fact that you made your actual choice and you stuck by it, that takes a lot of gumption. It takes a lot of guts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, especially in your position, your age, it's really easy to just go down that path.
And it was definitely a process, like, because you, like I said, you have to rebuild. You got to start like from the ground up. But what I realized is, there are a lot of opportunities that I'm not going to get. Like, it's going to be difficult for me to now get to a BET Awards or something, or, to be on these large scale, whatever. At least at that time, that's what I was thinking.
Right.
But I realized I actually got a good foundation of people by switching over, because now I have a targeted direction. Now I'm not trying to blend in and figure out my way.
Right.
The Christian hip hop is a lot smaller. I mean, it's a big genre, but it's a lot smaller than just what the world sees mainstream hip hop as. So now I stand out. Now I have something that's like my own and different. You're
just missing out on doing that video with City Girls, man.
Right.
Where's that
Act
feature
up.
Right.
Where's that feature at? Get Cardi up in there. And all that.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I was, it's funny because I was watching the BET Awards and, with them performing that. Well, I watched the performances afterwards.
I didn't even see that. I didn't know who's performing. They don't even announce who's performing anymore.
Yeah.
It's kind of just be like, oh, he here too?
The crazy thing, seeing the whole stadium, not what I'm saying, rapping along with him or singing a song, but chanting that song. It's a when you go to a show and you hear this is awesome, that they were at that level. Talking about, I forgot the first line of the song, but everybody knows that song, and those are the kind of moments that's obviously you want that. You want to have people who know. You want to have the entire stadium know your song, but I'm willing to take that risk if I can do something.
But bringing this to another point, you just spoke about performances and being able to kind of get in the moment and watching that. So when you're backstage and you get the mic in your hand, and you're about to rap out Adam Cole. What is that? I know as a performer, I know the stuff that goes through our minds is just it's crazy.
Matter of fact, talk about the process of even getting to that. The word you got the green light for that.
It was something that, I always wanted to do and I always dreamed about. And I think there was a small amount of okay, this could happen, but I really thought that it never would. So I found out that I was going to be doing that 2 days before TakeOver. It was a Thursday, or something like that, Wednesday or Thursday at 3 or 4 o'clock. So I'm like, man, what is going on? This is crazy, but I have to prepare for this. So I think in the beginning, it was shock, it was excitement. It was oh yeah, let's do this. And then sitting down and realizing oh dang.
I have to do this.
I gotta do this.
Wait a minute, I gotta do this.
Like I said, it's putting a match together. You're oh man, we can do this.
Yep.
Oh wait. I gotta do it.
So with all the songs that you've done, did you have to like go refresh or remember it, or you already had it on memory? You already knew that one. You already knew that one.
You're like, that's just number one. And
Hey,
it's like, I got that one. And it's like,
There were a couple of them that I like just off top. I can just,
Yeah.
you know, I remember them.
Gotcha.
Not me.
did you get that moment where you felt those nerves and then you go out and you're like, they're gone? Because
Yeah.
you're in your mode now. You're just like,
I think there was nerves. So for me, I don't know why it is, but when I get nervous, I can't eat. Like
I'm saying,
I get
the
that.
whole
Somewhere.
day I'm like starving myself, but like realizing, okay, I got to get something. So we get to the rehearsals, and you know, it's me, it's Triple H, it's Road Dogg, it's a bunch of people. Obviously, it's Cole, and I walk out there and I realize, like, okay, these are a lot of empty seats, and there are gonna be people in these seats, but having them like, okay, this is really what we want you to take advantage of this moment. Like, we want you to go out there and become a star tonight. Like, we know you have the potential, we know what you can do, but like, they, you know, they're staging me, they're like, this is the kind of the idea that we want you to do, but make it your own. So they weren't.
That's a testament to our management, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people's like, oh, we're so handcuffed. Like, no, we get a lot of like, hey, this is what we kind of the guideline. Make it yours.
Yeah.
Like, so once again, it goes from the talent to the freaking digitals, content people. So but yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I think that's what really got me to become comfortable. Like, okay, Triple H believes in me, and Road Dogg believes in me, and Cole asked for this, and you know, Hunter's the one that's like, yeah, I want this to happen here. So when I put all that in my mind, it's like, first of all, I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I express that as many times as possible, because I don't want them to think like, oh yeah, you know, I deserve this, or you know, I've earned, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because the moment that happens, then they take it, you know, that looks bad, and I never want to be that person. But I think all the way leading up to finally answering your question 5 minutes later, leading up to that moment of actually going out there, I'm like, I got a job to do. Like, I need to tell the story of this man. And at that time, I didn't know that he was winning. I hoped that he was. But, you know, I need to tell this man's story and hype him up to the point where he's ready to go in there and tear somebody up. Like, the one thing that I was worried about was getting into the ropes, but I made that happen, I guess.
Matter of fact, that's probably like one of the biggest, like everything can be real smooth until you find out a person that just never been in wrestling,
Right.
how they get in the ropes.
I was like, I don't want to fall because that ruins everything.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh.
Man, I was
that trip up, you're like,
Listen, I did Tasha Steelz the other day. Went through the ropes. Go clear under the ropes. Hat flies off. Leg gets stuck on anything. I was like, oh yeah. They're like, you fell. Oh my God.
All right, show's over. That's
Right.
the mic. Like I had Juice from Flatbush Zombies walk me out.
Oh,
He
nice.
didn't rap
Yeah.
it out. He didn't rap it out, but he just walked out with me.
Okay.
He just came to CCW at Philly just to just show support. I was like, hey, you wanna come out with me, bro?
Do this.
And he was like, he took his jacket off. Bruh, I was just here to support.
he's like, I ain't here. I was just here just for you, dog.
yeah.
But then he got a full gear. Like, he's ready. Got the boots on and everything. Like, I ain't even.
Never ask.
Hey, is that custom made?
He's like, I ain't even expect this.
Randy Savage?
I ain't expect this at all.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, my man looked at. He said,
Hey.
swelled up. He went out there, man.
You know
Jumped
what?
around, threw up a million gang signs. I'm like, oh, we in Philly though, but okay, I see what you're doing.
You walk outside, he just knows where the camera's at and everything.
Bruh.
Yeah.
He said,
He did that
heard you don't even gang bang, but
Right.
you twisted up your fingers in the flip. Like, for real though.
But yeah, man. So we gotta get into hip hop debate now. These are two people.
Look, now you done got it hot in here.
Yeah,
Right.
Oh, here we go.
Man. So I've been with this man for like 2
Pause.
years. Yeah. So I've been working with this individual for the past 2 years on podcasting.
Okay.
When it all started with Swerve Talk on High Spots with Sammy Callahan producing us. Moved on to the podcast because Sammy Callahan got too busy. Unsigned talents. Then we moved on to the podcast, did the Instagram lives, was on the couch Then we moved into here. And I, late last year, got into music with the man.
Yeah.
At that point, he was going by the theme song King. Then he moved on to the Titan. I feel like there is no bigger artist, rap artist, lyrically profound and flow-wise than TZ Scott right
Get that man his credit.
Yeah. Give him their flowers, man.
But man,
do it now.
Yeah, do it now.
I'll tell you right now. When he saw you get that contract, it wasn't hate. It wasn't hate. But there was a fire in the pit of his belly. There was a fire. He was sparked. And he dropped his verses on I'm the Man. Now available on Spotify,
iTunes, and
iTunes.
Hey, get that right now.
Right.
Stream that right now.
What are you trying to do, brother?
I'm trying to start some stuff right
I feel like he's instigating right
That's why the table's set up. I'm finna get chokeslammed through the table right now.
And it just so happens.
Lyrically.
I'm on a boombox.
Oh, my Lord.
Just so happens.
What are you doing?
Man.
I ain't rapping.
I just want to point out that I came here for love and peace.
I've been wanting to see y'all two either go against each other on the track or work together on the track.
I just want to point out I came here for love and spirituality. I just came here for love and peace. This
I
war.
came here to swerve the dang conversation. That's what I came here to. I was like, you should have seen my face when I was like, guess who I got in the episode?
This guy.
He got the leg up.
I was like, I brought the chocolates. I got Josiah. And boy, all the mess you've been talking for the past year, you better say it on this dang show.
Listen, man, listen. Honestly, all jokes aside, it is good, one, to see someone take wrestling music and someone, because it's not many of us. I'll just be honest, it's not many of us. And to see someone come in and have the own way that you did it, to market it the way that you're like a marketing genius, bro. It's real talk. The way that you put that together with the images, each video was different. The way you edited everything was different. And to see that come together and to see where you have come from it, from the hard work, because I understand as an artist how much time and stuff this puts in. You know, I definitely congratulate you, and I definitely love what you have going on. And what he was saying in the aspect of, you know, me making music on the indies for 4 or 5 years, it's like seeing someone make it. And I talked to me and Mega Ran had a conversation. Mm-hmm. So when I spoke to Mega Ran was like, well, that shows that there's hope for people that, you know, if Josiah can do it, that they're now opening floodgates to giving other people opportunities in some way, shape, or form.
Oh, yeah.
You just say, we have other opportunities, or this might be, you know, hey, maybe we can go outside for a theme song for somebody that's been doing something or something like that. And it's great to see. But with him saying that, I definitely, if you're interested, want to get us three in the studio working on something. Me, Swerve, and yourself.
Yes.
It's going down. And I don't want none of this friendliness either. I want y'all to rip each other. I want bars. I want that steam.
Well, bro, listen. Okay. So you want some steam, here it is. You get rappers in the studio, everybody's going to want to rip the track, have the best verse. Oh, yeah. That's undisputed. That's the pun. And you know, everybody wants to have the best. Like when we did Broke Boys, he killed my first verse, bro. Did you listen to it?
I did not.
Well, when you get a chance to listen to it, this was in the first verse. He ate my verse, bro. I'll just be real. So, you know, and I didn't even know he in the studio rapping like he been doing this forever.
That's the first rap I ever wrote in my life.
And he ate my verse, bro. And I'm just like, remember that dude was like, come here. So
Aerial were like, whoa.
Yeah, I love it. Looking at you, I was like, you gonna...
I said, okay, no, she's like,
you got the taco meat circling. Ooh.
I was like, yeah.
Hey, my engineer, so the engineer looking at me, he's like, he's looking at me, he's like,
hey, what you gonna do about that?
You got something for that? So he heard the verse. He heard the verse. He was like, he looked at me. He was like, nah, that first verse a wash, bro. You got to come back on that second one.
Right.
He said the first verse a wash. But just the reaction. But also too, you also have to work with people. I always feel like you have to work with someone that either you can learn from or is better than you at something. Because
But I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have been able to even put that kind of like motivation into anything I was doing if it wasn't for him in there.
But Josiah inspires me in a way of how can I market myself in a way that's different as a hip hop artist and doing wrestling, because a lot of people that came before, you know, no disrespect to anybody, but they didn't really have the marketing that he had. The marketing that he has put together has been phenomenal. Just seeing how he's packaged everything, and he had a game plan. Some people just do it. Hey, I'm gonna do this. Hey, I'll do this for you. But he had a game plan, and he executed it the right way. So I'm thinking, we get all three of us with your Pharrell mind, and me and him, the lyricist, we come together, form Voltron, and make something.
Hey, I'm ready.
Voltron.
I'm ready. I know for a fact. So one of the biggest things, first of all, I appreciate you, like you being honest with me and all this. Like that's what this is really about. One of the things that I struggled with throughout all of this is, you know, it takes off because it's creative, and it takes off because it's different. However, it points out that I'm not as lyrically strong as a Mega Ran, as a Teasy, as a Smoke Dizza, as a anybody. So I kind of like, I started getting a little frustrated because it's like, man, I want to get there, like, you know what I'm saying? But I know that that's not what I offer. I offer my creativity. I offer the different, which is what kind of like pulled people into it. So there were a couple of them where I'm like, all right, I got to unleash something. And like I did that, like for example, the Samoa Joe track that I did, I really wanted to give something for that. But what this can do for, you know, it's like you said, it's you get the marketing, I guess, you know, side of it. And I'm learning from what I believe is much more of a lyricist than I am. So, and then you, I guess, being for real. So, I mean,
this dude be
I guess, you know.
No, say it this way. right. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, and then it'll come out. I'm like, yeah, it's right. It worked.
I'm like, no, go back in there and do it again.
Because I'm the guy that like gets in the studio and I like the verse, so like I be mad loud. I get
right.
Loud.
Yeah. I'm like, why you got so much energy?
And he be like,
bring it down.
I'm like, Teasy. Like, see this pause. How first 8 bars is like. You had an 11. Just go to 6.
Bring it
down a couple thousand notches.
Miracle, spiritual. I got to fit in there with the psychedelic flip mode. And I'm like,
turn it up.
I'm like, yo,
you ain't gotta be busted at 93 on everything.
Yeah. Bring that down.
Look, can we get a what's it gonna be, Buster? Can we break it down?
I have to give a shout out, you know, as you know, thank you for the compliments as well, bro. But as an artist, man, the one song where I heard, and I told Mike this, the one song that I heard where I was like, so I was watching you and I was like, okay. And then it started climbing. I said, okay, the Becky Lynch one, fire. But when I heard the Velveteen Dream one,
right,
and how you put that one together,
man,
that was
I was like, okay. I said, okay.
Dude was like, what is this, Velvet? I was like, yo,
the devil on his shoulder.
I said,
you better get him.
I was like, God, I was like, he ripped it. I said, no, he ripped it. You ever been around some of your homies, you just said, like, yo, bro, he I was like, I know.
Dude. And so there's a lot to that because first of all, thank you. There's a lot to that because his character is something that you can tell, like 100%. He puts 130%. Like, yeah. So
Method.
Yeah.
Method.
I didn't more than anything, I didn't want it to come across as disrespectful. Because, like, you know, there are people who are really serious and really passionate about it. And I'm like, I don't want it to seem like I'm, you know, with all of them, like every track that I did, I'm like, I don't want it to seem like I'm making fun of it or trying to, you know what I'm saying? It's never, ever going to be that. But, like, when I heard the music, I'm like, first of all, I grew up on R&B. I grew up on soul. I grew up on that. I'm like, this just makes me feel like I need 15,000 lava lamps behind me. And
DREAM.
Yeah. Like I need to do this one. And I really challenged myself, like just to keep trying to do stuff. But yeah, that was one of my favorite ones for sure.
Absolutely, man. And keep pushing, man. Keep going from artist to artist. And you know, he spoke earlier about the independent artist grind, and I definitely want to bring that up really quick. Is, you know, you don't get a lot of support in this. If you don't have a crazy budget a lot of times, and a target market that really believes in you, it's very hard.
Yeah.
So I would, any advice that, I would say as well that I want you to further speak on this as well is I tell everybody, just get a target market. You spoke on that earlier with the Christian rap, and you knew that you had a target audience. It's very important to have that because you want to know where your music is being marketed to. And also it's very, very hard with, getting the support, getting people to come to your shows, getting people to consistently buy your music.
Yeah.
You can either Kendrick Lamar it or you can Lil Wayne it. And what I mean is Kendrick Lamar drop every 1 or 2 years.
Every 2 years.
Or you can Lil Wayne and drop every week. And you just, hope for the best kind of like in a lot of ways. Hope people are willing to invest in your product.
Hope it sticks.
So, as an independent artist, I want to ask you as well, is what is like any trial and tribulation did you have that? Do you ever have a team or you've always been by yourself?
Always been by myself. I mean, I'll, of course, working with different producers, but it's not like a specific, these are the couple of guys that I go to. Maybe recently I've been doing that a little bit more, but it's always like my marketing, my social media, designing the covers and everything. Like I do everything, except for mixing and mastering. I can't do that.
Not even mad at you, brother. I can't sit there. Nope, not gonna do it.
Nah, I can't do that at all. And it takes a lot, and that's, it's weird because I'm in this thing where, okay, I released an album early last year, so it's been a while, and I have so many ideas, and I've been writing songs, and I have stuff, ready to record, but I still, for some reason, am, hanging back a little bit, and I think part of it is knowing, man, I don't think I have the time right now to really be doing all that, and to also be working for this global entertainment company every day, and also to be a husband, and also to be looking at this and looking at that. So one of the good things about coming to Orlando now is when I was in Peoria, I was also an MC for a basketball team, and I also had stuff at church going on. I also had this and that. Now it's just work, music, and home. So I've felt more creative now than I ever have in my life, just because this is such a time where, okay, I have the ability to really do that, and I have people around me both at work and just in wherever that are encouraging me to do it. So
what's your playlist looking like? What do you listen to outside of yourself?
I definitely don't listen to myself.
When I started recording with him, I was like, I come up for stuff.
Hard. Yes, it becomes hard for you to hear yourself all the time.
I hear his verse, I'm like, yeah. Then it comes to me, I'm like, nope.
Right,
I'm done.
Right. I listen to, I can listen to myself when it's I just record something and it's gonna come out soon. But after about 2 weeks after that, I'm good. And I definitely don't want to hear anything I recorded a couple years ago.
No.
That just hurts my soul.
Not me.
Hurts my soul.
He knows it. He's been around me for 10 years. He's heard my worst, bro. It hasn't gotten much better, has it?
Side, be like, yeah, that was trash.
Yeah, that was trash.
No,
what was you thinking of doing that, man? That was.
He's like Black Beavis and Butthead. And he just comes in, yeah, that's trash. He's got that deep, Beetlejuice. Yeah.
And then when you hear something you like, you be in the corner like,
bruh, yeah.
Is he one of the people that be like, this decent?
Yeah.
this decent.
Or one of the dudes in the corner be like, what was that? How's that? Oh, yeah.
Gone. Dead
Gone.
sleep.
Right.
Yeah.
Ain't heard a lick of what you just played. Nah,
Just agreeing with it.
Yeah, just agreeing.
Yeah, so I listen to a lot of indie R&B right now. There's a dude named Brent Joy who I really like, and then it's a blend of indie R&B and then kind of that new wave R&B, like the Kehlani, her, SZA type.
So, yeah.
I don't know. I've never really been huge in just listening to rap, just listening to hip hop. But I have a connection to R&B music because that's what my mom listened to when I was a kid. So growing up on Tony Braxton, Luther Vandross,
Man, I was just listening to on IG
Big Luke,
listening to Elton John earlier today.
Really?
Something about Tiny Dancer gets me going. Puts me in my feelings.
Dude,
I take the long way home too. I'm like,
you will listen to the whole thing.
I got all the way through.
Yeah.
But
and people, I don't know, people call me kind of weird for that. Of oh, so you this hip hop artist, but you don't listen to as much hip hop as you do the other stuff.
The inspiration comes from everything outside of hip hop, just
right,
like wrestling.
Yeah, right.
My personal opinion, I'm 100% with him. I feel rappers make better music when just anybody that I know that creates art like us and don't listen to rap normally make the better music. That's the way I feel.
Well, because
I feel like.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I think a lot of those people are also trying to, be Kendrick, trying to be
then you
J.
get the
Cole,
copies.
Drake, whoever. And that's like, because you're consuming that so much and you're comparing yourself or you're trying to be them, then your music doesn't come across as like new or whatever.
It's the same with wrestling for me. I don't watch wrestling when I get home. And sorry, Coach Road Dog, but I don't watch wrestling when I get home. Like, if anything, I've gotten so much. I ain't watch it. Keep it on this damn stream. I said it. Yeah, I don't watch wrestling when I get home because I get inspiration. What made me out of wrestling. And that's what made me different, what made me stand out. I had to go to inspirations from film. I had to go to inspirations from watching plays. I had to go to inspiration from watching music videos, which got my whole look, which got my whole vibe, which got the sound. Like, that pushed me way further than watching other people wrestle, who's everybody else is doing a lot of the same thing. And then just watching that I'm doing the same thing. You get your tendencies and your bad habits on camera from, like, just little movements, just little pivots. You get ticks, so like, just little aspects of that, you get put in that category of people. Just like with music, like if you have like a certain way of like ticking with like your voice, or influxing your voice, like, you sound a lot like what's the name? Right. And then you get put into that category. So you gotta listen to something that's outside of what you do.
Plus, I feel R&B like opens up the floodgates of your emotions, lets you feel more.
Yeah.
And rap music kind of just leaves you in a certain angry, usually state, or
either angry or carefree. Like, I'm rapping about something specific, or I'm just rapping about nothing because I don't want to feel nothing.
Right, and with the music, you got to give them something they can feel. It's just like with anything else.
What I was talking to you about this a while ago. Like, what's an album that you've always like heard was a great album and marveled as a classic or whatever, but you never listened to it? This is an assignment for everybody in here. Take an album that you've always heard like amazing things about. It's a classic. It's going to go down as one of the best albums of all time or whatever. It could be hip hop, like country, metal, whatever, but you never listened to it.
Huh. Dang, I don't know. Now I gotta look at something.
Yeah, think about that. This is a tough question because this is a really tough question. Think about that.
Like all the way through.
Like all the way through, front to back.
But you never listen to it.
But
it's like a worldwide classic.
Yeah. For me, on mine, I've never listened to Speaker Box or Love Below.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have every intention of wanting
to
do that.
I never listened to the Blueprint.
Blueprint 1.
Yeah.
Right? That's what I was going to say. All the way through.
If Ian was in here, he'd fight this man.
No, but listen, bro. He said Andre 3000. You said you never listened to Speaker Box and Love Below. Don't be surprised if you're blocked from him.
Right. Right. I'm being all nice
listen
now.
to the GOAT.
Yeah.
You see him at PC Web like, hey,
Josiah.
hey.
He gonna show up to his locker tomorrow. It's gonna be 3 CDs. If you don't listen to these by the end of the week, you are cut off.
And you're like, answer these 3 questions about this album.
Right.
It tells you all in it.
That's crazy.
You have one?
You know?
I was gonna say Blueprint, but I haven't listened to Illmatic all the way through.
Yo, whoa,
I haven't listened to it all the way through.
Oh,
I did not sit down and listen at all.
What's yours? Yeah.
Shame.
Right, everybody.
Shame. I got my shame.
Anything Ice Cube related?
Okay. That's fair.
Don't start.
Anything
Ice Cube.
Watched every movie though.
Hey, Craig actor greater than Craig rapper, bro.
Bruh. Thought today was a good day. Bruh.
Are we here yet? Are we there yet? Where we going?
All I know is
lottery ticket. We watched
Lottery ticket.
Dang, not a lottery
Are we
ticket.
there yet? Everything.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard that new Cube song? Nah, bro. Nah, bro.
That lottery ticket was fired on.
Right.
Like,
What?
All About the Benjamins.
All About the Benjamins. I watched that. Barbershop 14. Saw that.
Okay. I got one for you. I never heard. This is a confession.
Oh.
Taco Meat Teasy's about to get blocked.
I got my shame whistle ready. Look.
I never heard Damn in its entirety.
Shame.
Thank you, Sai. Thank you.
No, Sago, you leave with them. Jesus.
I may not be able to quote it, but I at least heard it. I at least heard
Is
it.
the one? Is that song Rihanna the one on there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Loyalty.
Yeah. My bad, y'all. I had to be real. I should have kept it at Ice Cube.
I think mine might be worse than everybody's. I never listened to Doggy Style actually all the way through.
By Snoop Dogg?
Yeah.
You can add me to that too, bro.
It was a long
I've
time
heard
ago,
only the
but
singles, bro.
I remember that CD.
I remember.
Like that.
Yeah. That's the reason why I went and listened to it when I was younger. I was like, is that a dog in the red house? What they doing? Why she got a pink? What is going on?
Yeah, I just never got it. Yeah.
Said it was
Look,
in my
take out
dad's
the-
stack.
It was in the dad's stack. Like,
Yeah.
like, oh man.
That's too funny.
It was in the glass case right next to the movie Posse. They wouldn't let me watch that either. It's out.
Belly.
And Valley.
I gotta expound with one last music question for you.
Oh, no, I gotta get Mike. What was yours?
Oh, but
Album that you never.
I mean,
you said Illmatic?
yeah.
So is there anyone that you liked when you were younger that as you got older and you aged, you don't particularly like it anymore? Doesn't have to be a negative connotation, but like when you was younger, you digging it.
Oh,
But when you became a grown man. You was like, this ain't it, bro.
I got a whole CD shelf to throw out. I'm like, ah!
Man, that's another good question.
Hey, bro, so you gonna throw
for
out a whole
some
alien
reason.
ant farm discography is gone.
Just like artists that just didn't age well. Their music just don't age well.
For some reason, and
Paul
this
Wall,
probably
top of the
gonna
list.
sound. Dang.
I got so
Dang,
many
Paul
quotes.
Bruh.
In 2019, talking about let me see your grills.
Smile for me, Daddy.
Yeah.
Or what
I
you're
can have a
looking
few
at.
people that, yeah. But for some reason, the first person that comes to my mind is Alicia Keys.
Wow!
Really? A minor?
I feel like
Diary?
I think Diary is her greatest song,
Yes.
but
Yes.
I can't put another song under that. Like I get really when I start thinking about like singers,
And
I
you're the
just-
R&B guy.
I sure am. And like I feel like as time has progressed, I just don't really see Alicia Keys as that great of a singer.
I mean, when you think about it,
Neither
you got
does
the
her makeup
Jasmine
artist,
Sullivans
but-
out there. You know, you got people that's actually out there doing.
Swerve,
Yeah,
you
right.
wrong, dog.
Yeah, right.
You so wrong.
Swerve City Podcast, everybody. Oh, go ahead.
I'm not saying that she's not talented. I'm just saying
great.
that I grew out of it. Like,
Okay. I gotta add to it.
Well, you know, yeah.
okay.
Come on.
You know,
Gotta
some
keep it a buck. Gotta keep it 1,000.
keep it 100 in.
Post.
Malone?
Shake it off. I ain't been on the Mariah Carey.
Oh, yes. That is a
Mimi?
fact.
You feel me?
When they got
though?
to
That is a
Mimi?
fact.
You feel me though?
The Emancipation of Mimi.
Emancipation
Yeah,
by all
Emancipation
shit.
of Mimi.
That whole album was
Listen
it.
to me.
Hey,
Yeah, that was
I'm gonna just say something real quick. JD, you're wrong because he did my girl Janet wrong because both of those albums were produced at the same time. Janet's like Namita Joe, I believe, and Emancipation of Mimi, but he gave all the hits to Mariah
He
Carey.
wasn't focused.
He
or
wasn't focused on
was
his.
the wrong
Yeah, he's
person.
all focused on the wrong person. Now, mind you, we had some gems from that album.
Hey,
Thank you,
the
I
album is
appreciate
fire.
that. However, Janet should take precedence over everybody
Hey
else.
man, just
Lord
like
knows.
not to the PC, bro. Just make a greatest hit album like Mariah Carey makes Christmas albums. Put
Christmas,
some out every
right?
year, and you ain't got to do nothing no more,
Nothing.
bro.
One. All you need is one Christmas banger, just one.
Right,
Or take
right.
another holiday that they could play. You know, play
Some
it.
of her
every day.
music just didn't age well to me as I got older. I liked it when I was younger. I like the one with ODB, me and Mariah, and all
Going
that.
like
Honey
we
and
was
all
in
that. But as I got
pacifiers.
older, listen to some of it, I understand what he says about Alicia. Because some R&B singers, it just kind of it just doesn't. When
Right.
you go back and listen to it,
You know what's
It's
like
like-
that to me?
it's like-
the movie
Glitter.
Glitter.
Terrible soundtrack.
Right.
Terrible. You know who's like that with me as far as in the R&B realm of that? John Legend.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay, so the first few albums were fire.
Holla, holla, holla.
I love John Legend. I cannot. I mean, I'm a huge John Legend fan. I cannot tell you one song from the last album.
No.
Baby, I love
His
you.
music did not age
Maybe
well.
a boy.
And I feel like
Go
him
home,
and
listen to
Alicia
that.
Keys are in that same R&B opera sound feel. I didn't enjoy it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Puffy, Jay-Z,
See, but that-
oh, we better
that was
for
my
you.
stuff, though.
All I did was love you.
Yeah.
Baby, when I used to love you. Nothing that I wouldn't
The
do.
only thing that kept me in that
Listen to
video
fire
was Kanye
boy.
orchestrated,
Everything you asked me to. Right.
which is what he's doing now. Which is funny how that went full circle because that's exactly what he's doing now in the desert.
Killing them church sessions, though. Them things.
With the leg back. Hold up.
Right.
With the leg
Leg back.
He is
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
We all know that. And
Right.
like we're waiting for a song.
Waiting.
We don't even know what that is yet.
Like that DJ that put what he remixed that "Rain Down on Me" song.
I think that's the best part
The
of
Kurt
Kanye's
Franklin?
music. Like, ooh, what's this about to go into?
Right.
It's about to be something.
It's about to be something. It's about to be something.
Oh, scoopity poop. Oh!
Oh, that's it was called
Biggest
"Melodies
song.
from Heaven."
Melodies from Heaven.
Yeah, do you remember that? You remember that
Yes.
track,
Yes.
"Melodies from Heaven"? Like there was a DJ in the club. He remixed "Melodies from Heaven" into Kirk Franklin or something like. Oh no, into Lil Kim, "Crush on You." It was the meanest collab I've ever. I was like,
Quick.
it was
We
serious.
both said Nelly. Do you agree?
I would agree with that.
Yes.
Yes.
Nelly over the past 5 years has dropped a single with like Nicki Minaj and Pharrell and like Future or some other people.
I ain't heard none of them.
Made it. Exactly.
I ain't heard that. I've heard of "Stepped on My J's." I remember that one.
No,
That was
like
it.
He just came out at the right time. He
did.
had the right moment.
Hot. I'm going.
and it's
See what? Hey, anytime we come on, I don't care. I'm on
Yep.
it. I'm on it. I don't care.
maybe a year earlier or a year later, he would have missed it.
Missed it.
But
Missed
he
his
came
window.
up right in the right,
Right
time.
in that time. He was
you
the
can't-
only one from there.
Pimp Juice, 2015 wouldn't have worked. 2008, 2010,
Let
Pimp
her
Juice
loose.
wouldn't have worked.
Boy, I'm
It
telling
wouldn't have
It would not
worked.
happen. It would not happen.
Would Dilemma still have taken off?
Well,
If he hit that like little stride that you just said.
With Dilemma?
Yeah, do you think Dilemma would have taken off as hard as it
I think
He's still torn off that now. Him and Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that gave
That song.
that gave him another extra, like, a song gives you an extra year on your timeline as far as the artist, like, oh, ooh, okay, we can ride this out till like summertime 2020, you know. But,
Plus, he had Patty in the video. You know how much you get to Patty to be in the video? Ain't doing nothing else. She ain't singing. She got the foot out. She in the video playing somebody's mama.
Yeah.
true.
That's iconic right there.
So, yeah.
Is that the video where they were on two ways and texting?
Yeah.
through Microsoft.
Do Microsoft?
Excel?
Yeah, Excel. I was like
Speaking of like
on the sidekick.
like two artists collabing, that like extends your career for a little bit longer. Usher was kind of done till he got with Alicia Keys and made My Boo.
Yeah.
Because we were running at the end of Confessions, and then we were Confessions Reprise, Confessions Extended Edition, Confessions this.
Right.
Well,
Well,
then we
that's
had
when
Red Light on Confessions.
Right,
Like,
right.
oh
That's
my God.
when you know you were
Caught up.
Like,
Yeah.
Well,
I was
think
like,
about it,
really?
too, because before that, like he had been around since like what 94 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right. like what did he have to offer?
That was 97.
I'm gonna throw one more out there, and I don't know how y'all gonna feel, but it is what it is.
Bet not say the Yin Yang Twins.
Anybody.
Ain't anybody but the Yin
I
Yang
saw
Twins.
them live last month and they tore the place down.
Yeah.
I'm not even
If
playing.
it's anybody who's to stay the course, Yin Yang Twins. I don't care where you are, how old you are. They come on, you in there.
I think I ain't gonna.
Say it,
Go
bro.
ahead, go
Get
on,
off
say
your
it.
chest, brother.
Go ahead.
You know, we talking hip hop. Get off
I'm
your chest.
just this is once again R&B, but wants to be hip hop and pop and a few other things.
Put my Shane whistle up.
Christopher Brown.
Okay, I'm putting my Shane whistle down.
Whoa!
I'm about to hit you with Stephen A. Smith. I can't even look at you right now.
Okay.
Christopher Brown.
Okay,
And
now-
here's why I will say this.
Get it off your chest.
Go ahead,
That's
say
good
speak your
content.
truth.
Yeah, this is the
Speak
best
your
episode
truth.
we've done.
Look at you right
Speak
now.
your truth.
Christopher Brown
Blasphemous.
will drop single after single after single after single after single, and don't none of them chart. Christopher Brown will drop plenty stuff, and only his fans will listen to it. And I mean, I will say I am one of his fans, so I'm listening to it. But the music is not as good as it once was.
Because he will never be able to get on Good Morning America with his music.
I mean, that's one part of it too. That's the marketability.
Ooh,
of it.
that's a big chunk.
But the
You think,
music.
you
most
think
of
his
his
music
stuff
is
is-
diluting? You think it's diluting at this
It
It
point?
sounds the
thing in every
same.
song.
It sounds the same. Some of his stuff sounds the
Every-
same.
And the tracks are getting bigger, longer, like
Yes.
40,
Longer.
40
Or
song, 40
and
track
or
albums.
nastier. I
That's
mean,
how I
certain
feel
things
about
I can't play it around my daughter. I'm like,
Right.
No cap.
next.
No fake. That's how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
with Privacy come on and shuffle in the kitchen.
Bruh, is that? Oh!
Right,
That's the
right.
song. I'm like, oh no,
That's
no,
how
no.
I'm
Next.
starting to feel. I told Swerve that's how I'm starting to feel about Drake. personally.
That's fair.
Drake's a whole nother animal. We never seen a Drake before.
The difference with Drake, though, compared to Chris Brown, is that Drake will still have that single that'll be in top 5 worldwide.
Good point.
Right.
Very solid point.
Because of clout chasing, though.
But it works. No matter what the formula is, it's still successful. Like Chris Brown. Oh, go ahead.
I said one threw the bottle in the club, the other one got hit with it.
And then they just got the song together, which is now in the top 10 all over the world. But Drake is on it first.
But I think it's because Drake rides the wave usually. That's what keeps him afloat so long.
Him and Jay-Z are the goats at that. They'll find a wave and they'll ride that thing.
Oh my God! Like American Gangster, like that's where it became prevalent to me. I'm like, okay, he's just hopping on riding waves, because before that he was using like the what's the boys' names?
Young Chris.
Yep, took his whole flow.
It's but you know, man, I honestly hear what you're saying about Chris though, because I can't.
And that's my dog.
But I get it. I get it though. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But I think with R&B artists, like rappers have a certain shelf life where it's like by the time their peak is over, you're like, all right, we kind of expect it. But R&B singers, their catalogs can go forever. And you kind of grow up with the guys and the girls, and then you start to look back, or you start to hear their content change because you grow up with them. Like, we all grew up with Chris.
Yeah.
Chris around our same
My
age.
high school days.
Yeah,
so-
Chris, Bow Wow, Sierra.
Right. So you.
Bow Wow to go. I don't care what nobody says. Like, hey,
He's underrated, man.
one
for
of
his
the
career.
one of the corniest man. Like, age. How do you age out of hip hop at 25? Like who?
Because the boy started at 5.
That's what I'm You got a 20-year career at 25 years old. Like, but like it's crazy.
But that's the same thing of like, I feel like he tried so hard to blend in with what the culture was. Is you can do your own thing. There's a reason why Tyga still has hits, but don't nobody know none of the words. Because it sounds just like every other Tyga thing that you
Formula, you over there preaching right now, bro.
Right.
Sorry, I ain't gonna stop you. Go ahead.
You over there preaching right now,
I just feel like
that Holla At Me song with Chris Brown sounds exactly like Make It Nasty. Like, it's just the same.
the new stuff sounds like everything else.
You get that formula? Get that formula?
Except Lil Sky's, he gonna be somebody one day. Watch. Lil Sky's gonna do it, y'all. I'm telling you.
Yeah, already. We got like 120 million views or something like that.
Yeah, boy. Like, yo, Lil Sky's another one of SoundCloud rappers, tattooed faces, yada yada, young guy. But I'm like, yo, he has a little bop to him that's just kind of a little bit different, and he refuses to. Nope.
He's like,
Playing after we leave.
It don't make it to the cookout, but it might make it on the car.
No,
It's
it's
a
a
car
car
ride
ride. It's a car ride.
It's not
Car
it's a
ride.
headphone
car
It's not
ride.
like the Juvenile back that thing up at the
It's
barbecue.
gonna hit anywhere.
But
It is.
Everybody go. You know
Tell you,
that's where everybody goes.
that's the first song they played at my wedding
Yes, it
reception.
was.
The first.
Oh!
The first
Where the girls at?
song.
Where the girls at?
Yeah.
When I tell you,
Everybody looking
it
for
was
the-
like
everybody-
everybody onto the. Everybody put their
Everybody
dance
pull up
floor.
their pants.
Yo, when I say everybody, that mean the women is hiking up to everybody did this motion. Everybody did this motion. They set for this sumo squat that's about to happen.
Yo, cousin Teresa ain't seen her feet all day, but oh,
Dun, dun,
oh, Teresa get dirty.
yeah, right. And he had the right one too. The Cash Money Records taking over for the night. I was like, yeah.
Because there's that one edit that
Yeah, we ain't got it in there. That ain't
It ain't the
the same.
same.
That's like getting that Jordan car with the limited edition on the side. Oh, you got that one. Yeah, you got the joint. So all in all, we gotta have to close up this episode of 3 of the Swerve City Podcast.
I'm just getting started.
Yeah,
Right,
yo,
I know, right?
Come back, bro.
Yo,
Right,
It's
gotta have a
again.
part 2.
bro, this is a good time.
See, this is the cool thing too, because I feel like this is kind of like the beginning of all this. Like we build and we rise, and so I'll come back
There's
a year.
so
now,
much
and it'll be
more.
a whole different thing.
There was so much more. You're going to accomplish so much more. We're going to have more to talk about. Everybody's in here doing something. We're going to have what do we call the branch off episodes of Big Swole? What we going?
We're gonna call it Swole's World. Swole's World.
Swole's World. Party time. Excellent.
Hey, next time I get here, TZ gonna have a Grammy. You gonna be NXT champion.
Hey, you going to rat me out.
NXT Women's champion. I'm
Facts.
gonna speak that into the future.
Yeah, go
boy.
ahead and speak it then.
Man,
Go ahead, because I
man,
continually now to remain unsigned.
Look. we just gotta throw stuff out there. Like
You do.
Oh yeah.
just gotta,
Hey man, look, I'm ready. You know, hey, stay ready. You don't have to get ready.
That's right.
You got to.
Been
So,
ready. I've been
Mr.
working on my fitness because you ain't gonna have me coming to the combine and Deanna. Not Deanna, but Bianca. Mess me up. Look. I'm just saying. I may not get number 1, but I sure enough get number 2. So the rest of y'all gonna be in the back per usual, with behind the gap.
I didn't even make number 22, so
Right.
good luck, dear.
No, on the women's side, no, you just go ahead and bump me. Whoever made number 2, good luck being number 3 next year.
Silly.
Look.
Well, this is what I say. I mean, because at some point, of course, because she is incredibly talented, she'll move up.
Yeah.
I think the year after that happens, everybody coming in like, we ready.
Right. Look.
I'm gonna look like Will Ferrell on Jackie Moon. Where's the bear at? But yeah, it was a really good
So
time.
she's
having
gone.
you
Kick
on,
through the
man.
door. Psh. All
Thank
right.
you so very much. Where can they find you on the social media? Let's do it.
As I always do this everywhere I go. First of all, if you made it all the way through this, we done talked about music, wrestling. We done talked about Alicia Keys. I just want to say thank you for supporting not just me but for this entire movement, because that's what this exactly is. My name is Josiah Williams. You can find me at JDean DEAN Williams, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and something else, Snapchat.
All that goodness. And this is Swerve. You can find me on Instagram, Isaiah Swerve Scott. On Twitter, Swerve Confident. And this ain't about me. This is about the team. This is about my family right here. Where can you find y'all?
Man, you can find me at TZ Scott on everything, Instagram, Twitter, things of that nature. Also, I'd like to announce, we might have to get 2 joints with you, because me and Mega Ran are working on the album.
I saw that.
Hey.
I saw that. Hey, man.
So I need you.
Big shout out to Mega Ran.
We working on a project, an EP, and you know what I'm saying. Make the universe work.
Right.
Let's make this happen.
I'm in.
And find me on everything social media. Thank you guys for tuning in. God bless, man. Also, Twitter.com/Swerve City Pod. Make sure you guys follow that, man. Hit us up. Swerve City Podcast official on Instagram. Follow that as well.
Subscribe on YouTube.
Subscribe on YouTube.
The followings have been growing. The subscribers have been growing on a weekly basis. Thanks to Monteasy freaking coming at y'all, and y'all are showing the love back, and I appreciate all of it. This is growing. As you can see on the production standpoint, my team is still doing great work. Shout out behind the mic over there, Mike Simmons. We got Sy over there behind the camera, and as always, be confident in everything you do.
Wash your ass.
Or you gonna get that pop.
Boom. Here we go.